Today's talk again is on anger, transcending anger, and this is a page of a new book. Hopefully, I finished it. A lot of help from Shanti, Ole, Lakshmi, and Jenny from England. Hopefully, one day it'll be printed. So, and there's a page of it called awareness, and here I say, be aware when you speak to someone harshly. You could change their whole lives. And how many of you have seen that in your own life? Once, somebody may have said something to you very harshly. Has it not hurt you very deeply? Okay? And that's why from the other Spanish one, can I have that again? Let's repeat it a little bit. I'm going to play with these today. El regalo más bello, el perdón. The best gift is to forgive. The most beautiful gift is the ability to forgive. And when you speak to someone harshly, you really affect their life. The funny thing is, a lot of us always look at the other side. We always look at those who speak to us harshly. Oh, he spoke to me harshly, or she spoke to me like that. But we don't see. The vision is not there. We don't see that we also do the same. It's almost like we carry this blindfold with us that is so rich in everybody else being wrong and we being right. And that's the problem that is the worst in our life, our egos. As it said in this paper in Spanish, la raíz de todos los malos, el egoísmo. It's our ego that stops us from just watching the situation rather than blaming all the time. So first of all, you have to know where anger comes from. Because most people, when I listen to them argue, they're both saying the same thing, but from different angles. And you know anyway, don't you, that men come from Mars and women come from Venus. If you've not read the book, please start reading it. It's really very truthful. We almost have different set of brain waves, you know? And the whole idea where the attraction of energy comes in is to learn from each other, to get the best out of each other. But of course, with the human race, what do we always like to do? The first thing we like to do is blame each other. When one becomes successful, the other one goes in competition of, becomes jealous of. It's very rare. And if you do have that in your relationship, value it. Value it. It is very rare to see a partner want to see the greatest success of the other partner. Very rare. There's almost a jealousy that comes through, a panic that comes through. You know why? Insecurity. They have no faith in themselves. If my partner becomes popular, everybody respects the partner, male or female, irrelevant. Oh, then maybe I will not be good enough for them. Maybe they'll leave me. And all this comes from a personal insecurity, nothing to do with somebody else. And this is where anger comes, where people start directing anger at each other. Because it's actually coming from insecurity. It's nothing that anybody else has done to you. It's nothing that has come to harm you. There is no God saying, oh, you have to be a victim all your life. There's nothing like that. It is coming from you and your insecurities. And the whole idea about spirituality is finding your strength. You are divine. You are a child of a universe. You know, you deserve to be happy. And so does everybody else. Just as much as you do. They have the same right as you do. And a lot of anger, I have noticed with friends even, you know, starting from teenage years. I remember myself, my best friend, I used to look after her a lot because she came from a family of 14 children, and obviously they couldn't afford much. She was always staying in my house. My father was wonderful and very generous, always bought her clothes. I gave her whatever I had. So of course, after many years of doing this, your best friend becomes your possession when you're young, you know? And it started just from there. I remember when she found her boyfriend, I got really angry with her. She had no more time for me. And I remember thinking, I went through all this, because you're young, right? I went through all this with her, helped her through this, I did, and here she's going off with this guy and she doesn't even care. She doesn't pick up the phone and call me. But then also there was a side of me, and I was very lucky to have a very wise father. So where's your friend Margie? Why isn't she not coming? Oh, Daddy, she got a boyfriend, you know. She doesn't love me, my friend, you know. Doesn't have any time. He goes, no, darling. He goes, this is life. You should be happy for her. She's your friend. She's found somebody nice. She's happy. And when my father put that bright light on my dark mind, which was so much in anger at her, I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed. I called her right away and I said, you know, Margie, I am so sorry. I've been a horrible friend. Instead of being happy with you for you, I was angry at you. I think I was probably jealous. I'm really sorry. Anyway, it so happened she moved to Japan, and I was the only person there at her wedding. I was her bridesmaid. I was the ring bearer, because her family obviously couldn't afford to go to Japan for her wedding. And I could, and I realized when I saw my friend so happy and finally having her own home, her own house, which she never had. You know, she slept in an auntie's home, a room this size, you know, a bunk bed. And how could I be jealous of my friend? How could I have been angry? It starts from a very young age. And then we develop this pattern without really seeing what the real meaning of love is, you know. The real meaning of love is so unconditional. It doesn't matter whether people want you or not. When you really love, you want what is best for them. And I love a story by our spiritual master, Sri Swami Satchidananda. You know, one day somebody was asking him, telling him in a talk many, many years ago, I think it was 1980, one old tape I was listening to. And one of the students said, oh, Swamiji, you know, this student has gone off to another master after years being with you. You took them off drugs. And Gurudev answered them, why is that troubling you? What is your problem? He said, no, Gurudev, because we think you're the best master. He said, if that student can't find what they need with me, I will be the one to take them in my car and take them to who they think they can, because they need to find their truth. And to me, this is a sign of a great master, a great teacher. That's the sign to me of unconditional love. And like him, if somebody doesn't want us, treat us like dirt, treat us, like we are not worth anything, then we can tell them, go. Or we can say to ourselves, go, time to leave. I deserve better. If something else is better for me, or something else is better for you, since I'm not bringing you happiness, since I am not doing this, go, be free of me. You really love someone, that's what you would say. And if they really loved you, they would let you go too. But the world is not full of unconditional love. So we have to go through lots of emotions like jealousy, anger, fear, and it's a journey. And the real thing is, it's a beautiful journey. And so watch what you say. During that journey, it is really important to watch the words that we say. Tiruvalluvar says something that I love, a saying that he says. He's a South Indian poet and saint. Says, a word is like a bird. Once it flies off, you can never bring it back. You know. How many of you know somebody has said something to some of you years ago? 10 years later, 10 years they say, but you said this to me. The person will say, but that was 10 years ago. I don't think like that anymore. Hasn't that happened? But you did this, but you said this, and you said this. But it's gone. That's the past. And do you know how much time I have to give to people to ask them to forgive the past? El perdón, to let it go. Don't cry over spilled milk. It's done. And how many times have I heard, oh, my partner had an addiction to shopping. Oh, is your partner better now? Yeah, but you don't know what years I've gone through with that. Oh, my partner had addiction with drugs. Oh, but is it still there now? No, it's gone now, but you don't know what I've gone through, but you've gone through it. It's done. You're free now. You are free now. Can't you look at now, today? Why are you thinking 10 years ago? What do you want me to say? Poor you? Yes, poor you. But I'm very happy. You've learned a lot and you've grown up. So why are you angry now? You are not tied in that place from 10 years ago. You are free now. It's a process. We have to grow with each other. Yes, some past is very painful. That's why you talk, you get it out of your system, but keep knowing it's in the past. Ask yourself, truthfully, why am I still angry at the past? Is it still in my present? If the past is not in your present, look at what is in your present. What is in your present that is working, that is making you happy, that is making you tick in the morning? What makes you get up happy? What joy do you feel? Some people tell me my best time is meditation. To meditate more. Best time is singing. Listen to the music. Listen to the music more. Make life extremely simple. But you see, human beings, we love to go back. Why again? Coming back to the same thing. We love being in victim mode for some reason. Poor me. I have to work this, I had to do this, I had to do this. But thank God, isn't it over? Thank God it's over. It's over. And this is the mantra you should use. It's over. That was then, and this is now. What was past. However, the past is still continuing, then you need to address it. And a lot of people have problems that are recurring with partners, with themselves. They keep recurring. When something keeps recurring that makes you feel uncomfortable, you get angry. So face that anger. Ask yourself, why do I come home and feel this anger? Or why, when I'm around this person, I feel this anger? Try not to look outside to say, because that person did this to me, but try to look inside and say, but why is it coming from me? Why am I feeling? What issue haven't I dealt with in myself? What is in me? Do I still have that jealousy? Do I still have that fear? Do I still have that sense of insecurity? Do I really feel very possessive? What is in me that invokes this anger, this insecurity? Because you only get angry when you feel extremely insecure in who you are and you fear loss. It's fearful. Anger is based on fear, loss of something, or not having what you want. Also, anger is based on thinking the world is unfair to you, unkind to you, that somebody is picking on you. Do you see always the victim mode? Have you seen it? And it's so deep, it's so subtle that you cannot make light of it. You have to face it. You have to bring it up in yourself. You have to examine it. But then when you examine it, things can be very painful. For example, I've seen many people in my life, some been abused by their fathers or mothers. Very painful subject. They come to me at 40, 45, 50 with this huge anger in themselves because they've been abused, Nobody in the world knows about it. And they've drowned it for so many years. They've kept that voice quiet for so long. But what's happened to them is anger. Oh, this person's always angry. This person cannot keep any relationships, right? It's so deep-rooted, so painful for that person to bring it out, that they have to cover it up with a stronger emotion. And mostly that emotion is anger. And they come when they can't deal with it anymore, when everything in their life falls apart. There's fear, there's anger, because it's like they're covering up one layer over another. They can't face the fact. So finally, when they do come out with the fact that, my father abused me when I was young, right? Then all the anger. How could they do that? Oh, my mother, how could my mother do it? All that anger. And then they can see at that point that anger has not so much anger inside. Some of them, even the person who's abused them, is dead and gone. There's so much anger inside that they haven't been able to live life at all. Nothing has worked in their lives. And when we face it, it becomes a very, very horrible thing. It's like real muck. You feel a bit sick that people can do that. But at the same time, we have to allow that victim, that positioning that we put ourselves in, or that person puts themselves in, the victim, and we have to change that victim into something positive. Now, very difficult to do when you've been abused. It's very hard to tell somebody, oh, everything is for the best when they're in that point. Because it doesn't feel like it's the best. But when that person starts to confront that awful denial for so many years and faces it, there is like a relief. A physical. Every single time I have seen a physical. Literally the body becomes lighter. Literally their shoulders come stronger. Literally there's a smile that is sincere and not false, not holding back on life anymore. And then after coming face to face and feeling the pain, then comes the next step, is teaching them how to forgive and asking them to forgive. Now, that's really hard for most people. But if you don't forgive and you don't transcend the anger, I tell them, you will never find peace. I'm sorry. If peace is what you're looking for, I said, I only have one interest. My interest is that you live the best life you live. I have nothing to gain from you. The choice is yours, as it is to all of us. Do you want peace? Or you want misery? If you want peace, you have to forgive. Ultimate cure. And then it's hard work. It's hard work. And I find that people really come to terms in their life with horrible things that have been done to them when they learn to forgive, and when they start to use that pain and give it out and make it something useful for somebody else, helping somebody else who's suffering. And again, in the Spanish one, we said, lo que nos hace feliz ser útil a los demás. And what makes us happy? To be useful to everyone else. And that normally finds the solution for the person who becomes a victim, now becomes a leader. So they transcend the anger, because now becoming a leader or becoming useful gives them what? Self-esteem. But many people love the victim mode and roll, and they stay in it for years, with all the spiritual knowledge they have, with all the education they have. They still like to say, poor me. Why? I really don't understand. Sometimes I think it's karmic, you know. I really don't understand, because for me, it's really very simple. You either live this one life as peacefully as possible, or you don't. Nobody can do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. Get as much information, learn how can I fix my higher self. I am in this world for a very short period of time. Do I want to spend it being angry at one person because they've done this? Because so long as you have anger in your heart, you cannot be free. You know, the moment you meditate, the little anger will be when you meditate will come towards that person. Why? Why with all the thousands of good things that you have in your life will that one anger come out? Because the soul is so pure that it doesn't like anything that isn't. It just doesn't like anything that doesn't make it pure. Just like any obsessive good does the same thing. When people are obsessively good, isn't it also the same way? Anything in extreme, when they're over the top, good, it's actually quite annoying, isn't it? Sorry, am I being horrible? Because there's a vagueness in it, right? Yes. People are good, but when they're obsessively, they can drive people crazy. I've seen this in so many aid agencies, you know. I've gone through them all. And because they want to be so obsessively good from their point of view, everybody that doesn't sleep, wants to sleep even 2 hours a night, they're evil. Do you know? It's hurting somebody else, so they're good in one way, they think, and they make everybody else feel horrible. And I've seen so many agencies work like it's really very interesting. And go, oh, you can't be that good because you're not aware. You're not aware that your obsessiveness with goodness is hurting so many people. Real goodness is to be aware. It's the whole. We are a whole, you know. It's teamwork. It's being aware of each other. It's the spirit is in all of us, not just in me. So nothing in extreme. You know, when you see a pendulum, right? When is it the most quiet?
When it's still.
When it's neutral position. It's so peaceful. You're just neutral. You see it as it is. There's no judgment. So a lot of inner anger comes from our own judgments. And first look within. Because if you're very clear in yourself, you cannot develop anger. You can find this situation, disdain, it's not nice, you know, it's not a good situation. You will pretend to be angry, and you will only be really, really angry when you feel the good of everyone has been threatened. As Lord Jesus in the temple, when he went to the temple and he saw they were selling all this stuff for commercialism, nobody was really interested in the spirit, he got really angry and he started to, you know, and why did he get angry? Because for the better good of everyone. When you work for the better good. But even then, that anger has to be checked. Any extreme anger creates ripples in the environment. Just like any good deed creates ripples in the environment. One benefits it, the other destroys it. And destroys the one who gives it to. And benefits the one who gives the goodness to. So it's all about balance. And the only way you can balance is if you can see what is going on in there. So truthfully, ask yourself when you get home tonight, I really would, if you have a spiritual diary, is there any anger? Do I feel that I sometimes just get angry? You know? And I found out, you know, many patients, and the other day I was with this patient who was telling me, I have many actually, so male, female, both have the same cases that happen. they believe that they're very angry people. And they don't know why they're angry. For example, this other woman came to me the other day. Oh, Nalanie, I think, I'm a very angry person. Look at her name. Body form, facial features, you normally can tell. You go, why do you think you're such an angry person? Well, because, I was brought up with it. My mother was always angry and I've just developed it. I come from her genes, so it's genetic, and so I've got it from her. So, and I go, I think it's more a situation of her being the example and you observing that example. No patience, so you become no patient. You become impatient. But tell me something. Do you love your mother? Yes, I love my mother. So therefore, but do you like that she gets angry? No, I don't like that she gets angry. Ah, very clear. Isn't it very clear? You don't like that she gets angry, so you don't like that you get angry, right? Change it. You blamed her for your anger, genes, etc., etc. Now, I want you to go back to your past and look at situations where your mother was angry at you and made you feel this small. She came up with quite dynamic. I go, oh my God. I would have liked to be her daughter. Because you can't say that. But you have to laugh. Life is full of jokes and it's full of fun and it's real. And then I said, look at all the times your mother has made you feel great. Also quite a lot. That was really quite interesting. She's really actually quite a nice mother. So I made her see the both. So I said, which is she? Why can't you tell me? Because you've told me this, that she does when she's made you feel so small, and this that she does when she's made you feel so great. And I said, why haven't you told me? Why didn't you come into this room and tell me that really your mother's done wonderful things in your life for you too? I didn't think about it, right? So I said, okay, now you know your mother has bipolar, or whatever you want to call it, because she came to me with that word bipolar. I said, okay, she has. As a duty, as a daughter, why are you getting angry with her? You become, as it says here, I'm coming to it right away. It says los niños. Yes. Oh, you have a good memory. Los mejores profesores, los niños. Why can't you take the position of a teacher? Do you love your mom? Yeah. Why is it that she always has to fix you? Why can't you help her? She's so bipolar, so disturbed, at the same time so loving. Why? You also have those loving genes. Why can't you work on those loving genes? Have you ever been diagnosed as bipolar? No. Has your mother ever been diagnosed as bipolar? No. So why are you saying she's bipolar? Because that's what my friends tell me. Do you see, we create I really would love to meet her mother. I haven't met her, but I would love to. I'm really curious, which is she? Because many times people tell me something about the other person, and when I expect this monster, this horrible person to come in, and I get such a shock. I say, this is the person that you're fearing of? Why are you scared of this person? Why has your life been manipulated by this person? It just makes me laugh because reality sets in. We have such crazy thoughts in our minds and build up such black pictures. And it always has to be black because we look outside. But if we could just see in ourselves and face where the anger is coming from us, okay, maybe it's example from your parents. Maybe it's their fault, but it's in you now. It's inside of you now. You can't blame what is inside of you, to anybody else. You can't blame them for it. You can't. All your life. I said, you're 50 now, and you're still complaining. Poor mother is like going to 80 something, going to die. Don't you think it's time now to make up for the past, make amends, thank her for her good times, thank her for bringing you into this world? Isn't it time to do this? It's too late when she goes, at 88 you're still blaming her. Poor thing. She came from a different generation. She came from a little pain. Why can't you be her teacher? Why can't you teach her how to love? Why can't you teach her how to transcend anger? You are coming for lessons. You are the one that wants peace, not her. So why can't you be the one to swallow your ego and be a bit humble? Because your mother is so loving, really. How many nights has she sacrificed for you when you were sick? Oh, many. I was very sickly as a child. Oh, yes. How many nights did she stay awake for you? Many. How many times did she take you to hospital? Who did it for you? My mother. Okay, let's focus on those things. And when you bring out those good things, then very quickly I find people are able to forgive the man. You see, I just keep talking about the good things when they start. But Nalanie, you don't know when she made me feel this way. And when she made you feel so good. Do you know, you just bring the positive up. And immediately you see the face change. It's almost like they want to cling on to the bad. Because that's their excuse to cop out in life. Why? Because it's hard work. It's hard work to clean up the mind stuff. You have to work on yourself. It's always easier to blame the world out there than to work on yourself. You know, and that's what it is. But when you do it, when you clean up your own act, the gift you get is this light inside. You know, Sri Patanjali tells us, what is the science of yoga? Yogas chitta vritti nirodha tadadrastue swarupe vastanam. And that means when you learn, when you watch the mind stuff, and you're able to control those waves of anger, and when those waves become so smooth, then you can see who you really are. Because the mind, the chatter of the mind stops you from seeing the light within. You know, this is why pranayama, the practice of learning how to breathe, is such an incredible science, because it's the only way physically we can calm the mind down. That's why in English it says when you're angry, what do?
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Count to 10.
Count to 10. What wonderful advice. Take a deep breath. And just count to 10. Because sometimes you can try to meditate, you can try to think good thoughts, you can put on millions of mantras, and nothing is working. There are times when that happens too. So take a few deep breaths. And because you're breathing, the mind for that second is quiet. And then it can get back a little bit of equilibrium, some new place of neutrality, so your head doesn't go exaggerating situations way beyond what they need to be exaggerated. And these are the lessons we learn. And you know, I always think my mother is very straightforward, you know. I love her dearly. As a kid, I was a really ugly kid. And you know, Indian, you're dark skinned, they tell you you're ugly. She goes, don't go in the sun, you become ugly. I went in the sun. But you know, I thank her for that. I really do. There was a flip side to the coin. Since you're not pretty anyway, learn to develop your mind. So I started to study and love school, and where I was praised all the time. Do you see? For being a good student, for being a smart student. So it's positive reinforcement. And then I built up myself, rather than blame mom, and I think it must have come from a different life that automatically I just never blamed her. I loved her honesty. I just loved it, you know, it's truthful. So I would work on that. And then of course, as I got older and the better grades I got more respect for my mom. So it wasn't like, oh, you're so ugly, put some makeup on. It was, oh, you're so clever. Nalanie, I wish you could be clever like you. And that's what I didn't have that thing stuck in my brain. I had, okay, if I work on myself, build up my self-respect, she'll think the world of me, which she, and today she does. She says, I'm her bhakti daughter. Bhakti means love. Daughter full of love. So she never told me that years ago, you know? And every time I speak to her, when are you coming? When are you coming? I miss you. You know, my mother's not that kind of a person, but she tells me that on the phone every time she speaks to me, you know? So I'm just saying that when you flip the coin and you don't blame, you just know that the personality of that person is straightforward. That's their personality. What can you do? Your personality is sensitive. So strengthen yourself, make yourself strong. Make yourself, if you don't make yourself strong, you'll be guaranteed to have friends, partners, relationships that will bang it into you till one day you say, you know what, I'm sick and tired of people manipulating me. I am going to be strong. Because until you learn, you'll get all the lessons. I always say, God knocks, you don't listen, he bangs. You don't listen, he breaks your door down. It's the truth. It's the truth. You know? And the knowledge is what gives us, we get the knowledge. Now, knowledge is only useful if you use it. If you don't use knowledge, it's no longer useful. This is why in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, scriptures are of no use if you just look at the letter of the word and do nothing else with it. What's the point? I know people who quote scriptures in all different languages and they're never happy. They're miserable. The moment somebody is taking their position, oh, there's panic. How can you take it? I'm the best one here. I want to keep my position. You find it in committees, you find it everywhere. So where is the knowledge of democracy, real democracy? We're seeing it in the world now. People don't, in Syria, people don't want to let go of the power. See what power does to you? Destroys. It destroys when you don't let go. They don't want you? Okay, bye. I'm going to live a good life. Because I can be happy without power. I can actually be happier without power. The only power that any of us need, personal power. Personal. What would be our right, our birthright, is to be strong, to live a beautiful life, to be happy, to be joyful. Life has already enough problems. You don't need to add on by becoming, oh poor me, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And then once you know what you do, you create gossip. Because the people around you, oh, do you know, I went and saw this person today, and you know, they were feeling really bad. And you create the gossip. If you are strong, they'll say you're strong and leave you alone.
Yeah.
Thank God. Better. So, you know, don't allow yourself to be poor. It's the lack of thinking of abundance. We are abundant. We are abundant. We are so abundant. Look how much air we have to breathe. What do we do with it? Pollute it. And still we have practices like pranayama that help you take the ether from the oxygen and make the best for yourself. Still we are always saved by Mother Nature. Still Mother Nature loves us, you know. But it's time that we take some action for ourselves, and the only way we can ever be useful in this life, because that's the nicest thing you can feel, is to be useful, is to transcend all these childish, really childish past angers that we keep within ourselves. You know? And people want that pity. They feed off it. They feed off it. Don't feed off your own. I'd like to, Terry, can I mention your illness or no? Is it okay? You know, I've known Terry now nearly quite a few months personally, but the other day when I was locked out of my house, thank God, I got to know her deeply. I didn't know that she was living with this disease, that every 3 months she has to go to England for blood transfusions. Am I correct? Antibodies, yeah. And they put all these antibodies in your... Every few months she has to go, right? Am I right?
Every 2, yeah.
Every 2 months. it's life-threatening. Because if its immunity goes, see, she doesn't want to talk about it.
No, but it's not, I don't think it is lucky.
Okay, good, even better. I love that you think that. She's looking young every day, by the way. And I love your haircut. So we sat and she told me that every 2 months, and she had a lot of pains in her body a few months ago. Lot of pains. Found it very difficult. Am I right, Richard? She found it very difficult to move. Nothing. She came to the health class, come to all the health classes. I'm sorry if I can't do all the moves. Oh, I'm going to England. Why are you going to England? I had no idea. No idea. This woman is not in zero victim mode. Doing everything to help herself. And so like, you can hear from her voice, it's no big deal. Every 2 months having to go to a doctor to get these antibodies. And then the body being in a lot of pain continuously. And still there at the hatha. And still trying to make the best of her life. I mean, God, I have to talk about her because I find it saintly, admirable. Can't help but respect her to such a deep level. And I'm sure I got locked up in my house at night to find out about your nature and your character. Shows a huge person. Would you agree, Richard?
Yeah, no complaints, no. Just gets on with it.
She just, exactly. Just gets on with it. No big deal. Now the thing is, and the reason, sorry Terry, please forgive me, you know, and the only reason I brought it up because we have an example, you know, somebody who really has a physical problem, and no big deal. And there's so many people, there's tiny physical problems, you know, are such a huge deal. She just attends to it, fixes it. Do you see, she applies the right medicine. The hatha helps me, I can't do all, I'll do gentle. The talks help me, it fixes my mind, releases me. My mantra she loves, this girl is really mantra girl, you know. Naturally, the mantra helps me and she does it. Just repeats it, just does it, just does it. She uses the medicine as much as she can get, that she knows that she's helping herself. And when you see somebody like that, all you can do is respect them and want the best for them. You know, and whether I like it or not, she comes up to my mind all the time. Because she's so good in that you just have to respect her. And so that because she doesn't have so much mind stuff, it becomes telepathic. As I was speaking about the other day. When you clear it of debris and nonsense and anger and fear, it becomes very quiet and you can connect very quickly in the mind when somebody is not doing well or they're doing well. Anyway, sorry Terry, I really embarrassed you thoroughly. But you never praise yourself, so let somebody else praise you for a change. So, and this is when you get examples like this and you say the world should know, you know. The world should know what is really painful and what isn't. And a lot of our time, by being, when you're angry with someone, and the more you talk about it, haven't you noticed, it just grows. And yesterday I met a very, very lovely lady who's been practicing yoga for 4 years. I didn't met her, but she told me after 4 years that somebody had done something to them business-wise. And both parties were angry at each other. And the other party will not talk to them. They won't talk because they're still angry. And she said to me, you know, I still feel anger in my heart. But you know what? I don't want to talk about this other person. Not only I'll talk to you because I know that you understand me. And I really want to fix this anger. How can I fix it? How can I fix it? But I don't want to say it to anybody else, because if I start telling somebody else, then I will influence everybody. And my yoga is to be truthful. That's what I promised myself this year. On the beginning of the year, I need to be truthful. And if I speak about my anger, I'm speaking about it untruthfully because it's coming from my point of view. Now, don't you think that was wisdom? I thought it was, wow, we've really learned a lot. So I said, that's correct. But she said, but how do I fix it? I said, the other party is not ready. So with deep love. You see them, you cover them with light, you wish them well, and I guarantee you the other party also has yogi and a good heart, because I know the other party too. And you know what? In time, it will be fixed. But don't rush it. They're not ready for it to be fixed. But meanwhile, release your anger by forgiving it. But you cannot go now. Now is the wrong time. So that's why I came to talk to you, because I had an instinct that I want to fix it, but now is not the right time. Wisdom, confirmation, it isn't. It wouldn't get you anywhere to fix it now. So all you have to do is live with your anger and try to appease it by forgiving. And just know that the other person is not bad. They're really good. Total misunderstanding. What can you do? But until they can see it, you just have to zip it. But I thought it was so honorable. Because what? It didn't spread any gossip. I only happened to hear about it because I knew both sides did not spread any gossip. And both sides spoke to me about their own anger. Isn't that interesting? And I thought these souls are developing now. So there is no energy whirling around and everybody's angry at everybody and you get this whole madness that comes with anger. Because the more you talk about it, the more it will grow. And people love a good story. And I remember once long ago when I was in another country, and this woman was a wonderful human being, and she was talking to me about, this is why it's really important to know yourself, okay? She was talking to me about leaving her husband. And I asked her, why do you want to leave your husband? And she goes, well, I don't know if I love him anymore. He's always very negative. He's always very depressed. Always sees the worst side of everything. I said, why? Do your relationships start in love? And she goes, yes. I mean, I really, really do love him. And he's really not a bad guy, Nalanie. It's just that I can't take this depression, this negativity anymore. It's too many years. And I said, really? And what have you done to help him? Out of this, have you asked him? No, I just tell him he's negative. I just tell him, I can't do it with you negative. I can't do it. And I went to her and I said, and you're a yoga teacher? And you just said you can't do it? You can't live with the negativity? Did you talk to him? Why is he negative? Oh, he says because I'm too busy and I have no time for him. So I said, okay, interesting. So what he's telling you is that he's missing you. And his negativity comes from the fact that he's missing you. No. I said, okay, he's not telling you that. So it was really quite interesting to see people's minds. And she said, so I said, okay, tell me, how much time are you away from him? Oh, are you with him 1 day a week? No, 7 days. She finds every occasion she can to be without him. I said, no wonder the poor guy is depressed. He's madly in love with you, totally in love with, under-nurtured, So, but I'm also under-nurtured. I said, sorry, you're not. You're teaching 7 days a week and you got all the love in the world. And I said, I have a husband too. I'm here in this country, and but I make sure when I'm back home, Monday to Thursday, my work with the world, Friday, my children's day, my daughter's day, Saturday, Sunday, for my husband. So what about you? I said, all the days are mine. I love all of them. But it's a balance, because if you have a relationship, you have to balance, because you have a relationship. And I said, otherwise, if I'm away Saturday, Sundays, weekends, then I swap it around. I balance it. Then Friday night, I'll go out with them. Or Tuesday evening. Or Wednesday for dinner after my class. You can balance. You can always balance. So anyway, I said, asked her again. So why are you so upset with them and why are you so angry with them? Well, I've been talking to all my friends and they've all left their partners. Okay, interesting. And they all have been, thank you.
Sorry to be rude, it's just I've made a promise I'd be somewhere at 7:30 and I didn't realise it was till 8. But thank you. I'll
No,
be
it's
back
still
next
7:30,
week.
but you'll take 15 minutes to get where you need to go.
See, I need
Yes.
to get somewhere, I promise.
Please
I'll
go,
be there.
please go.
Next
Thank you.
Wednesday I'll be here, thank you.
Oh, next Wednesday we have a guest, a wonderful speaker. Her name is Mataji. Okay. Yes, yes, please do. You will miss something if you miss her.
I will be here.
Thank you. So, where was
Like
I?
this girl with a husband.
All the friends were
Okay.
leaving.
All the friends were leaving their partners. So I said, okay, let's talk about the first friend. Tell me about her husband. Oh, he's an alcoholic. He's always drinking. Da da da. Does your husband drink? Is he an alcoholic? No, actually he doesn't at all. Okay, so it's not like your friend's husband. Another one. Why? He swears when he gets angry. Does this? That. Does your husband do that? No, he doesn't. So why are you comparing your husband with their husbands? They're totally different people. Tell me what's nice in your husband. He's highly intelligent, loves God so much, just wants to go nature, loves children. Wow, sounds rather nice to me. Do you see? I said, please, I told her, please stop talking to any of these people. Go home to your husband and talk to him directly. And spend some time and ask him straight to his face what's making him unhappy. Do you know, because she is such a wise woman in every other way. She went to him and of course the truth came out. He missed her. He felt useless. No more use. And he was in depression because he felt he wasn't any use in the world anymore. Because he adored the ground she walked on. She decided to nurture him. And may I tell you, today, their marriage is spectacular. Honest, better than most. Amazing. Together they work as a team. She spends more time with him. It's really quite, she would have missed out on all this. So you see, sometimes by talking, you get influenced by other people's thinking patterns.
We're so blind, no?
We're so blind, yes, it really is. And it's just Maya. This is what Sri Patanjali tells us all the time. The Gita tells us, the Bible tells us, all the, that we become so blinded so quickly. It's really like a curtain, the veil over the inner light. There's a veil over the truth, you know? And of course, because she had already done so much work in yoga, because she had done so much hard work on herself, easily the light went in. Easily she could see the truth, you know? And easily she could fix it. And to see her so happy today, to see them so happy today. And he's really, my goodness, what a personality this man has. He's not dull at all. It's so interesting. I love to sit and chat with them. So it's all, this is what, you know, these are false illusions that are not true. And many times in our life we make big mistakes because we don't analyze it for ourselves. That's why, or with somebody, one person you trust who can be neutral. You know, needs to be neutral and not take sides. So, and I think this is what we need to learn with ourselves, to come to a neutral place, to come, the yin and yang join as one. Truth is one, parts are many. And this is what we need to do when we have anger inside of us, when we have fear inside of us. No, it comes from a place that is unforgiving, that destroys our soul. A place that is full of egoism, because anger only comes, inner anger, deep inner anger, comes from a place of, how dare you do that? me? How dare you make me suffer? It's that voice. It takes a long time to heal that voice. It's a bad habit that we've developed, not only from this lifetime, many lifetimes. And when we're aware of it, rather than feeding it and talking about it again and again, oh, this is my problem, this is my problem, this is my problem, I have this anger, I have this anger, I have this jealousy, I have this jealousy, I have this jealousy. The more you talk about it, the more you will have it. I release the need to be jealous. I release the need to be. Release it. You know what? You gripped my life for so many years. I don't want the control anymore. I want to be free. What is our aim in yoga? To be free. To live a life full of freedom and joy. And who traps us? Ourselves. We allow it. And because we trap ourselves, we allow everybody to manipulate us because they know our triggers. Because why? We vibrate those triggers. That's why people will attract, who are always bullied, will attract people who are weak, will always attract strong people who will bully them. Always. Because they're weak. Until they learn to be strong, they will be squashed. And this is the way life works. It's really very interesting. And this is why when you study yourself, your own psychology, your way of being, your way of thinking, and then have as your highest goal, peace. Make that your star in your chart. Peace is my goal. And then you list a pyramid, all your good qualities. You'll see it gives you peace. All your mad, all these things that you have, jealousy, anger, that gives you no peace. It doesn't get you to your goal. Can anybody destroy you if you are strong? What is the soul made of? As the Bhagavad Gita says, weapons cannot destroy it. Fire cannot burn your soul. Water cannot wet it. Wind cannot dry it. That's the stuff. Nothing can do. Your soul cannot be destroyed. This is why if you look at all the greatest masters, all the greatest people, they use soul energy. Talk about Gandhi. Soul energy. And what was his thing? To create peace, non-violence. That's soul energy. Non-violence and non-greed were the two things that he worked on all his life. And look what he achieved. Look what he achieved. He got the English out of India. That's what he had the goal. And how did he try to do it? Non-violently. Now you think about it. You're standing there and you're trying to win this war and everybody is beating you and you're giving them love. They can't beat you anymore. Well, you've both seen Gandhi, so you know what I mean. So, but of course, when you're aiming for your goal, you are going to be tested. This is life. You have to experience some pain. Life is like that. You have to experience some pain, some letting go. Even when you let go, when you forgive somebody that's hurt you, it's actually very painful. Have you noticed? It's not an easy thing to do. It's quite difficult. I don't know if you've done it, but I've certainly done the practice many years ago. And it's really very difficult. But when you do it, when you release the pain, initially it's painful. And then what is poison in the beginning is nectar. Then you become free. Say, why did I take so long? Such a little period of pain for such a great period of peace. Why did I take so long to make that decision? You know, what was I frightened of? Why wasn't I courageous enough to believe in my soul? And I know that all these qualities take me to my soul power, which is peace or God or love or light. And all these qualities take me away from soul power, which is peace and God and love and light. So if I want that power, I have to face these things, not deny them. I cannot deny them, because what you deny will stay in your body and grow. But also what you exaggerate will stay in your body and multiply as a virus. So when there's a problem and you exaggerate it, also a problem. And when there's a problem and you're in denial, huge. Do you see both ways? It's always about balance. Take it out, watch it, release it. You got it? Release it. Cover that thing in light and release it. Thank you. You always thank any pain that comes in your life. Then it has no hold on you. Thank you for coming to my life. It's through this pain that I realize how much strength I love, what I need to do, become a better person, a stronger person. So thank you. But you know what? I think I've learned the lesson. You can go now. You don't need to come back. I don't need to repeat this. I've done it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Don't need to repeat it. Go. Please go. I don't need you anymore. Unless it's gone. Don't desire it. You won't get it. Because as you think, if you desire it, it's going to happen. Sooner or later. You don't desire it. So these are little trick things that you can do with yourself. Wonderful exercises with your own mind. And you become your best psychologist. Don't have to pay 50 euros an hour. Sorry, I don't need to take work away from people. But do it. You need a psychologist initially to find out what is hidden. What is hidden. Once you know what is hidden in your deep psyche, then the only way out is to transcend it. And the only way to transcend it is to forgive it and let it go. No other way. No point going to a psychologist or psychiatrist year after year repeating the same sickness and asking for a different medicine. I know many people who've done that 20, 25 years come to me and they say, why aren't you better after 25 years? So do you know why you're not better? You keep repeating the same past. Keep repeating, you keep telling me the same thing, and I've only been with you 3 sessions, you already told me 3 times. I already know I'm not sick. 1 time is good enough. Isn't it true? 1 time you've told me, I know. If I forget, I'll tell you, I've forgotten. But you keep repeating, and you've been already doing it for 25 years. That means every time you're thinking about the same thing. And you've given that jealousy, that anger so much power. You have given it power. Now take it away. Oh, forget it. Be busy. What did it say here about being busy? El trabajo. Yeah. La distracción más bella. El trabajo. When you're busy and working, it's a great distraction, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. It's a great distraction. When you're working, you can forget a lot of things. I see the people with the most problems are the ones who do the least. Honest, empty lives.
Yeah.
It really is true. They have the most problems. A lawyer in Marbella was telling me, I don't know if I told you this before, but she actually told me, she said, you know, Nalanie, so many people, so wealthy, come to Marbella to retire. They come, they've worked all their lives, they've had great, big, huge businesses, now they have all this money, they want to live their life in the sun. The moment they retire, she said, boy, do I have headaches. After 3 or 4 months, they come to me looking for problems. They're bored. After 6 months, they're bored with the golf. How much golf can you play? And how many dinners can you go to at Ponte Romano, Marbella Club, or Mau Mau, or whatever discotheque, Olivia? How many times can you dine in Porto Banús or go to the top? How much food can you eat? You know, Gurudev always said, if you feast every day, there will come a time when you see the feast, you want to throw up. It's enough. You've had enough. Isn't it true? Many times when you go on holiday, eat, when you come up,
do it anymore, right?
So now, those things have become boring and they have no work because they're very wealthy, sold their business, and then they start to look for trouble and trouble comes to them. And if it doesn't come to them physically, either they buy a bad property and they have to go to court for year after year after year. It's almost like they're attracted. They have illnesses. All of them suddenly develop diseases. All kinds of, they were very healthy while they were working. So they have too much time to think. And she said, I've learned from them, I will never retire. When I retire, I'm going to retire to do my hobbies. And you know, her hobby is like going to Africa and going to the villages and helping the poor. And that's her hobby, right? So I'll retire to do my hobbies, which is hard work. You know, you have to really rough it out. But she loves that. She does it once a year anyway. So, and I said, great. And really, that is the truth. When you have nothing useful to live for, you start to fall apart. When it's all about exterior, there's no more meaning in your life. There's no more meaning. In the first 6 months, wonderful. Even maybe 1 year, fantastic. But you just imagine getting up every morning, going out for lunch, getting dressed, going for dinner, playing golf. Oh,
So boring. Not to drive you crazy.
yeah. You really think about that. There's no meaning in your life. I mean, what's the point of living? There's no usefulness. What are you doing for anybody, including yourself?
God.
And that not even very good, some of them. And you know, if it makes them happy, great. You know, I'm not against it. I think if you're happy and you're fulfilled, because some people are very fulfilled, then it's great. Unfortunately, there are not that many of them. Like she was telling me, she's a handful who really just love retirement. It's only a handful. But if you can do that, why not? That means you found the peace within yourself. You found the usefulness in your life already. You know, you're enjoying truthfully this quiet time or this fun time.
That those same people would enjoy whatever they did.
Yes, those same people will enjoy anything. So the idea is not what you do, but how useful you feel inside with yourself. How good you feel inside with yourself. So I think at that we'll end the talk tonight. And we'll just do 2 minutes of silent meditation. Is that okay with all of you?